A lot of people on the internet, bro, they cannot be honest. Because maybe their family will say, maybe they don't have the balls to tell you the truth. I do, because I've already told you so much about me. I easily used to FAP 10, 15, 20 times per day. On a good day. Like 20 times, bro, like easy. And don't lie to me. You might be 18 watching this, you might be 45, or anywhere in between. I'm sure there are days, or there's been a period where you're ramping up those numbers too. You're getting close to where I was getting. I used to get to a point, bro, where my doodle wouldn't even get hard. It'd be soft and I'd still be able to do it. Savage, I'll tell you the honest truth about me, because I know that that's not the man that I am today. You see, I'll tell you a story that I haven't ever shared before. I'm actually going to tell you two stories. I remember the first time I discovered fapping. Now, for any of you boys that know me, you know that I never had a father. My father left. I really mean that. He left me, my brothers, and my mum and bounced. He picked alcohol and a new life and a new wife over us. But on this rare occasion one day, I was at his house. Would have been 12-ish, 13 maybe even younger. And I was in his bathroom. And I don't know what the fuck I was doing. Maybe I was taking a dump. Maybe I was just there because he was drinking and he was roaming around the house, wanted to get out of his sight before he, boom, knocked me out. But I was in there and I was just touching myself a little. I didn't know what I was doing. And boom, it happened. It came out. And, when it happens, I didn't know what was going on. So I'm like, oh, what's this? And then I went and touched my, my doodle, and it was super sensitive. Oh, what did I just do? Did I break it? I did. I really thought that that's what I did. Like, I broke it. But there was a little bit of joy in breaking it. So after I got rid of the anxiety and I went outside and dodged, my father, I done it again. Went home. I didn't have a lot of content or a lot of things to do it to, but I was a young boy, felt this feeling, boom, thought about my primary school teacher. And it just spiraled out of control in that way. To where I got to a point, after we got the internet at home, because we didn't have the internet for a long time, and I got a little iPod and I had a whole bunch of videos on there, and I was easily going 10, 15, 20 times per day. And I would tell you, that when I got into my first serious relationship, now this is when I was quite young, 16, 17-ish, and beforehand I'd done some things with some girls, but this was my first serious relationship, and I'm 26 now, so this is going on close to 10 years ago. I had been watching, those videos for 4 or 5 years, and as you boys know, at the start, anything, we just see a pretty baddie on that side, easy, ready to go. But as you get older, as you start watching it more and more, you start watching crazier stuff or dirtier stuff or a bit weirder stuff. And it just happens. Anyway, this girl that I was seeing, this was a real relationship. But I wasn't that experienced with, doing the real thing. So I took what I thought was the real thing. And everything that I saw, everything that I had heard, everything that I thought I should do. And I started doing that stuff straight away. And I remember, because this girl was inexperienced as well, we both were, she was kind of open to, I don't think that she knew either. And I remember this time where I'm like, what am I doing? This doesn't feel right. This is not on. This doesn't, why I'm in love with this person and I'm doing all this crazy stuff, but she's inexperienced to all this stuff. And I had this epiphany moment. Now, I was able to kind of clean up myself a little bit and, things started to go really great in that department. But when that relationship ended, or even throughout that relationship, I was still watching all of those videos and my mind was getting muddled. I got into more relationships, I had more one-night stands, I had girls in my life, and I was still watching those videos. And I can tell you, the habits that we build as young boys take us into our later years of life, especially when we pick up habits when we're young, fapping and all of this. It because it becomes so ingrained in our software programming, it becomes a part of us to where we need it. We need it like a crackhead needs crack. And I'm telling you, bro, I grew up in the ghetto. I know what it looks like to say a person needing crack. I've seen it with my eyes. But something happens to a man when he is able to rid himself of this, and something happens to yourself, your energy, your frame, how you think, when you decide to defeat watching those videos. And I'm going to open it up to you. And we're going to talk about how to actually stop it, and then what it does for you. And also I'm going to even run you through how women kind of perceive you. Because it actually is a real thing. As cringe as that might sound, look, you're not going to start levitating. You're not going to be doing all these other things that the 10-year-olds or 12-year-olds are talking about on NoFap. I'm going to tell you from a genuine perspective. Now, here's how I want you to kind of perceive the best formula to quit jacking off. This is the best formula. Let's say that every day, there's 7 days a week, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let's say majority of us guys, easily, we can go once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day. This is just on average, maybe more, maybe less. Maybe you skip the second day. So on the first day you're fapping, maybe on the second you are as too, and then maybe on the third you're not, maybe on the fourth you are, maybe on the fifth you are, maybe on the sixth you are, maybe on the seventh you are. Kind of right, isn't it? Or is it probably all ticks every day you're fapping, or it's a little bit less how many days you're not fapping in between? But most of us, we're pretty consistent with fapping. We're consistent fappers. But how do you rid yourself? Because I will tell you, as someone that has abused drugs, abused alcohol, I have abused, fapping. Fapping is the hardest thing. Harder than drugs, harder than alcohol or cigarettes, and I was addicted to those. Well, cigarettes I was addicted to, and drugs, not really, didn't have a problem with alcohol. I would tell you, because it's free, because you can have it in your room, because there's no sketchy dealer you got to deal with and the police you got to duck from. Fapping is super difficult, if not one of the most hardest addictions that there is to quit. So how do you go about quitting it when you're just messed up? Okay, well, I will tell you, and you need to hear this. You don't have the discipline to stop like that. There's a very small amount of you boys that can close your eyes, boom, open your eyes, and you've quit that bad habit. You've quit it. Let me give you some context though, right? If I had, maybe not me, but if someone else had a gun to your mum's head, it's savage, right? I'm a savage kind of guy at times. But someone had a gun to your mum's head, and they said you could never fap again, or I'm going to pull this trigger. Boom. You're never fapping again, because your mum's life is on the line. It's a savage example, but it kind of goes to show that if your will and want is behind you to quit fapping, to quit, your brain craving it so much, it's a possibility, but their will and want isn't strong enough. So how do we go about quitting fapping? It's simple. I want you to kind of even follow this routine, right? So maybe, and this is just something I randomly came up with, like these tick, tick, X, tick, 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 X. But how I want you to view it is I want you to go on a journey of, if I really do mean this, if you're a consistent fapper, fap one day, don't fap the next. And live your life like that for a little while, right? Maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks. Fap one day, don't fap the next. It's going to be super easy. Super, super easy. Maybe do it for a week or two. But then, what I want you to do, and we can kind of phrase it like this. You don't fap, you don't fap, you fap. You don't fap, you don't fap, you don't fap, you fap. And on these days that you fap, it sounds funny, I know, but I actually want you to not feel guilty or not get to that point where I hate myself so much and I don't want to be here anymore, and you call out for your mom, help me. I want you to actually schedule in when you fap. So you don't fap, so you got ticks across the board, you fapped, you got an X, but you didn't muck up because you earned it. You genuinely earned it. And then you go again, you didn't fap, you earned it. And you got an X because you fapped and you done the deed. But this is a way to where you can start to dial back, if you're an avid fapper, the amount you do it. But then with this, right, let's say you're watching the videos, right? So on here, you're watching the video. On here, you're watching the videos. And maybe for a week or two, you're watching the videos. But then what I want you to do is I want you to dial back on what you're watching. So this is going to sound savage, but this is a serious problem we face as men. I want you to dial back on the videos that you watch. So maybe you're watching some crazy stuff. I don't know what you're watching, bro, but I know that it can get kind of weird. Dial back on what you're watching. So go back to some basic stuff. And then what I want you to do, after a week or 2 weeks of watching the basics, I want you to go and not watch any videos and do it to a photo. Or do it to, some imagination or something extremely mild. To where it's like you're getting stimulated, but it's not even nearly what you're used to fapping and touching yourself to in the past. And in that way, right, as you go on, week by week, and even month by month, right, you start off, you're watching the videos, you're earning it though, and then you kind of consistently dial back on the videos, but you still earn the fap, but what you're fapping to is a little milder, and then you keep on that to the point where you are at a place in your life where you're not needing that stimulation and you can do it to your imagination. Or if things kind of go well for you, because what we're going to speak about when you stop fapping, you get a girlfriend and you can do it with her. Things will work out. But this is how you stop fapping. You schedule it in, you earn it, and then you dial back on the content that you're watching to get off. And that will change the game. I never knew this, which is why I always messed up. And I will tell you that there was a point in my life, and this is like just recently, like 2 years ago, bro. There was a point in my life that I had to like watch those videos. Like it gave me peace. I don't know about you, and I'm telling you boys, maybe I can admit it, maybe you just can't. I felt calm in just watching it. Crazy, but savage. And it goes to show that how our brains can be so like wired to need something so bad. And like I said, I have abused drugs in my past. For 5 years, I was a drug addict. I've done countless amounts of like dumb stuff in my life, like drinking and smoking cigarette, all of that. And this has been a lot more hard and a lot more addictive. So this is the formula on how you break it. Now, truth be told, is it hard? Absolutely. Is it worth it? Yes. Because we're going to talk about something now, bro. Now, I believe the only thing that stops a man from being a version of yourself that faps, you're broke, you're a nobody, you're not good with women, there's nothing about you that's got any pizzazz, you're not cool, nothing. The way to get here, right, is only through action, right? So where you're at in your life and where you want to be, the only things in the middle of that is genuine action, raw action, moving forward, taking the right steps to get to where you're trying to get. But so when you stop fapping, I will tell you that there are so many benefits, right? Not health benefits, not this. I mean, it does increase your testosterone, but a lot comes to your mental state, right? Because most of us guys know that when we fap, and we're watching crazy videos, or we're just fapping, and we're fapping all the time, it actually ruins us. It makes us feel low. Our self-esteem, our self-respect, it doesn't, we're not where we should be. So a lot of what happens when you stop fapping comes down to your drive. Because I believe, and most people who are like me, young men who are about to take care of themselves, push themselves hard, who have sex regularly, understand that when you're fapping all the time, your drive is gone. So when I'm fapping all the time, or not anymore, but when I used to, I remember, I don't want to go gym today. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. But as soon as I stopped fapping, I became like a lion in the jungle looking for my next meal. And I mean that. And I mean that towards like my goals. I mean that towards like the sexual partners I had. I was hungry. I was hungry to succeed. I was hungry to push. I was hungry to run. And I want you to realize that when you stop, right? You stop fapping. Your drive, it tenfolds. With that, your mental clarity and I will say your self-esteem. These are big things, right? And we're going to break this open a bit for you to realize that your drive, your mental clarity, and your self-esteem. These all link together to make you into this optimized version of yourself that's getting to where you're trying to get. Because with that drive and ambition that starts to come out, that starts to roar out, your belief in yourself and your desire and want to get what you want, it tenfolds, because you feel as though that you've got, and you haven't muddled your mind, so you've got this kind of space in your mind to do what it is that you're supposed to do. Because think about it, most of us, we can get super just frazzled with when we go on a binge and our mind's just absorbed and we're poisoning our mind with just this garbage, that we don't feel that kind of clarity. We don't feel, not only don't we feel good, but we don't feel that internal kind of okay, yeah, I can win, I can do more. So I believe that the biggest thing for me has always been that now I feel just peace and clarity in my mind. Now, of course, I still, I'm still very sexually active, but I'm not doing it with my hand. I'm still fighting the demons of not watching it. But at the same time, my drive has linked to my mental clarity, to where everything that I do, it's like I absorb knowledge quicker. I think clearer. I can focus easier because I've stopped fapping and I've got this power and this juice inside me. Now, this is a big thing that most of us guys lack, is self-esteem. Well, I would tell you that a lot of self-esteem, self-respect, and self-confidence comes from keeping your word. It's as simple as that. Most of us are not men that we can be worthy of calling us. We are men who aren't. I lost my train of thought, bro. I was trying to get it back. But our self-esteem gets ruined because we don't keep our word. And the only way to build your self-esteem up, your confidence, your self-respect, is to keep your word. And when you don't, and every day you say you're not going to fap again and you do, every day you say you're going to get up at a certain time and you don't, every day you're going to say you eat clean, you're going to eat clean and you don't, you will see that you don't believe in yourself and you hate yourself. And when you look in the mirror, you can say, oh yeah, I'm good looking, but deep down you know you're a fucking fraud. Is because you never keep your word. So when you start to get this habit under control of fapping, it is one of the biggest elevators of feeling good, feeling powerful, feeling masculine, feeling like you can dominate, conquer, destroy, because you're stopping a habit that has destroyed you. And then with that, you're doing things that are pushing you forward. You've got this energy, you've got this drive, you've got this focus, this clarity. You're going to work harder on your business. You're going to work harder on building yourself up in more areas, making some money, running through and building yourself up to where, you're good at approaching women. That you got to, you're a man who's just in a better place, so the men around you are in a better place. Everything will start to happen and fold in your way when you stop this. I really mean it. So use that formula. Realize that I'm telling you from first-hand experience that this will change the game for how you feel, your drive, your mental clarity. So much in you enhances. And the best thing, and a lot of people say that this is bullshit. Don't listen to them. Listen to me because I know it. I'm a young man that's feeling the impacts of it as we speak. Your testosterone goes through the roof. Because when you think about it, you're training hard because you're not fapping, you're working hard because you're not fapping, you're keeping your word, you feel good about yourself, you're eating clean, you're doing all these things, right? Boom. You're going to feel a spike in your test. You're going to feel like an animal, a different beast. I really do mean that as a man, bro, you go, if you're fapping regularly and you go one day without it, boom, you feel like you can lift the car up. I really mean it. You go a week without it, there is a point, and I will say, eventually you kind of taper off. But when you're let's say you're 2-3 weeks into NoFap, you'll have this big spurt up, but then you'll just kind of taper. But if you're a naturally moving forward man, that taper, that's you're going 100 miles an hour just going like this. That's a good taper to have. So it does taper eventually, but get to that point and you'll be a completely different animal. I really mean this. So this is huge. But how I want to reference this now, bro, is that for a lot of us guys, a lot of us want to attract women. We do. And I will tell you that I believe that the most important thing that happens when a man is on semen retention, I'm just going to say it for what it is. You become hungry. Meaning that, I dropped my lid, but meaning that you become hungry. So let's say for a long time, you've been fapping and it's destroyed you. When you take away this habit and you have kind of no access to boobies, it makes you like, whoa, I need to get some. And now I'm going to say something that's savage. We as men, we've evolutionized in a way to go out, conquer this world and attract females. That's how we lived. That is literally how we lived hundreds of thousands of years ago. Men, boom, we're walking this way. Anything in this way, we're going to destroy. We're going to take the women. They're going to have our baby. It's a savage world, but that was the world. I wasn't a part of that. But I'm telling you that it's still ingrained in us a little bit to where us as men, we want to attract women. We want to build up an aura, build up some energy, build up some frame, some masculinity inside us. So it's like, we get some. So when you're on semen retention, you will feel so much more hungry. Okay, I need to build my body. Boom, I need to work on my confidence. There's a baddie that I've been looking at university. I'm going to approach her because I'm hungry. And it changes the game. And because you're building, right, when you're when you're not fapping, and so many areas of your life you're excelling, because you got this drive, you got the mental clarity, your test is up, you're doing shit. Women see this. Because you're hungry, you're going to hold eye contact. Because you're hungry, you're going to actually put out this aura about you that's more masculine. Like, hey, like you're just going to be like, hey, how you doing? Like, you're really good looking. Can I get your number? Like, it'll be that way because you're about it. You're wanting it. I will tell you that you'll walk differently, you'll talk differently, your tone of voice will change, your body language, everything will change because you're hungry for what we desire as men. So this is a huge bonus because if you're fapping all the time, you're not going to have the will, desire, the want to actually go out and attract them. You'll want it in your mind, but you won't have the action behind it. So you need to realize as a man, the hunger that you get from not fapping and not releasing and not having, boobies, 100 boobies in your face in 1 second because you went on the website will give you that internal hunger like, okay, I'm about it. Okay, body's on point, boom, making some money, boom. I'm hungry, I'm gonna approach her anyway. I'm a bit nervous, but I'm gonna still do it. I'm gonna take care of how I look. I'm gonna run through all of these things in my life. I'm a bit socially anxious, but I'm gonna fix that by going out more often and I'm gonna do all these things and it gets you more results. I really mean it. The best thing I ever decided in my life was that I'm gonna quit this bad habit. Did I fail a bunch of times? 100%. Do I ever regret it? No. Because I now know what it does for us as men and I now know what it will do for you. So you need to understand, use the formula, know the benefits and go out and just do it. Just take action, bro, and actually implement with this and you'll see the benefits happen. This is a real video on semen retention. You won't find shit like this because I know it firsthand. I'm on fapping, I can't even tell you how long, bro. Sexual fun, that was just the other day. But saying that, even that's so much better because I'm hungry. Make sense? Love you, bro. If you want coaching 101, I'll help you quit this nasty bad habit. Or you want to join a group of young men all on self-improvement, go to the link in the description. I love you, brother. I really mean that.